So here's an example of a small room and how you might achieve it with any system today, whether it's um, Composer from us or QSys or Biamp. We all work very similarly where you have a centralized processor and these endpoints. But the key knowledge is you don't actually need a processor, you need processing. So that processing can be achieved by any product in the system. And so in Cognio, we move that processing out of a dedicated product and into one of the other Cognio products, in this case, the touchscreen. For a small room, there's plenty of processing in the chips that are inside of our touchscreens. The capabilities of modern silicon is so vast these days that we can do so much that we don't need a dedicated piece of hardware to do DSP or control processing for a small room. We can reuse the other processors that are inherently in the system. And this is scaled throughout the Cognio project line. So let me explain how we achieve that at a lower level. So our existing products are all based around having dedicated hardware for each function. We might have a piece of hardware for AEC, a piece of hardware for DSP or for Dante or for control or USB. And that served us well, but it really hampers how you scale a device. If you want to add more features, or we as a manufacturer want to add more features, it requires us to make hardware options to achieve that. And in Cognio, we've changed that. Instead of having dedicated processors, we have a general purpose processor that does all of this functionality. And in Cognio, this might be an Intel processor, an ARM, and every Cognio product, not just traditional DSPs, has this general purpose processor in it, and means that every Cognio product in the Cognio platform can run the same Cognio operating system. So all of our touchscreens, our Cognio endpoints, processors, remotes, we all run the Cognio OS on them. And every product running Cognio OS can have access to the same OS features. And that includes, at a high level, audio processing and control processing. So every Cognio product can have open architecture DSP up to 96K, software Dante, AEC, recording and playback paging. Every Cognio product has control processing, such as a built-in web server allowing you to bring your own device for control, automation, third-party drivers. It can run Lewis scripts. It can be controlled from an external control product using our JSON API. Every Cognio product has access to all of these features. The only difference is how much of each feature each Cognio product has. So this illustrates two different Cognio products. On the left is a product that has a very large processor represented by a large circle. And on the right is a smaller product with a smaller processor represented by the smaller circle. And then you can see within each circle, we have the ability to subdivide the capabilities, those features within that pool of processing. So on the left, you can see we've used a huge amount of it for DSP, traditional signal processing. Where on the right, we've more evenly distributed the capabilities within that product. And that can be dynamic too. It doesn't have to be something we set at design time when we build a product. It can be something that's configurable in the field. So let's say you're designing a system with a product on the right, but you don't need AEC. Well, we can allow you to turn off AEC, giving you that processing for more capabilities. The Cognio OS allows all of this. So, to review the platform, all Cognio products can have all of our firmware features. All of our products are differentiated by their hardware capabilities, and those firmware features scale based on the capacity of the general purpose processor we use in each product. And this makes it really easy for us to add new product types and to add new features to the OS. And when we do add new features to the OS, all Cognio products will be able to take advantage of those new features because they all run the same operating system.